So this ending was moved again to 10 verse marker, so you know that that is whatever it is, some multiple of 10. It turns out to be 70 verse 70, again according to the mechanism of the demons. In line 2 and 3, now, there is a tag mark there. Normally you'd expect in Yorka and particle in, and here you've got in Torta. Mentioned in the Shawed books. Now they have a grammatical explanation for it. It's not the normal grammar, but it's saying the feminine of the particle is affecting the noun coming before it, even though it's passive and you wouldn't normally have it to say Yorka and with the preposition. Normally there'll be no connection, but they're saying that that feminine has influenced the word in front, and it's mentioned quite openly. And this one is interesting. It's not recorded in the 10 or the 14, but it's recorded, as I said, in the Shawed books, and it's attributed to Mujahid, Ibn Jabbar. Mujahid being the student of Ibn Abbas and the teacher of Ibn Kathir and Ibn Muhaysin, the Meccan readers who later get accepted in the ceremony 14. True. I'll whiz through here. We've got the main points anyway so far. So we have a Meccan, what we could call a Meccan shared variant. Let's zoom ahead. Munajjid, in his book about this, says that on one of the other folios there is the Meccan reading specifically in Surah Al-Tawbah, Tajri min tahtiha al-anhar. Not just Tajri tahtiha al-anhar, but Tajri min tahtiha, specific to the Meccans. So we have a consonantal variant as well in that. So, one manuscript, Meccan reading, Meccan possibility, verse numbering, Meccan Shawed, we have Umayyad spelling, Umayyad radiocarbon dating, and we have something which you'll see very quickly can be considered Umayyad ornamentation. This is from Moritz's Arabic paleography. Notice these sort of tremulated things here. Notice the 10 verse marker, very, very similar as well. If I skip back, you can see those tremulations up there as well. That's a close-up of the same folio. This is in the Arabic paleography. This is another folio from the same Quran. Notice he dates it 1st, 2nd century. Again, these tremulations here, that sort of, I'm not an art historian, this is new to me, but you can see the similarities. We'll skip that one. This is the famous Yemeni manuscript, 2033-1. I think it's a fairly similar script, but we see in this one, and this is where we end basically, Von Bottom has done an excellent job on this manuscript and worked out exactly what's going on. He's given us the dimensions as well. The dimensions, interestingly, are exactly the same page-wise, but the orientation is different. So instead of being slightly broader, this is slightly higher. But again, we've got these 10 verse markers different here, much more ornate, marking not proven in this case, here. And the last slide. What we have here is a 10 verse marker. This is the end of Surah Tabarak, end of Surah Al-Mulk. Normally 30 A's, but here the 30 verse marker is 1 A before the end, specific to Mecca. And I've checked 6 folios in particular for verse numbering, and I get the result Mecca. So I'm now thinking to myself, there is a sort of Meccan type, possibly, of script, or a Meccan type of tradition, which we could tie these manuscripts in with. Very briefly, I've got 1 minute. I need to refer to 2 bits of work that have been done on this, one about the place and one about the time. Time first. Deroche, in his work on the France, has assumed a chronological development, and everything is done in terms of time. He wrote an article called The Layered Book Hands, a very useful article. Practically, this manuscript is mentioned. He allows that in because von Bottmer has shown that it's basically between 86 and 96, the time of the belief. But other than that, it doesn't include any of this type of script. I think now we have to put that back into the Umayyad hands. This sort of script and the ones before, these folios you've seen, I think they have to be considered Umayyad. That's about the time. Police
Estelle Whelan, wrote a key article on the business, Writing the Word of God, and she suggested that rather than take the chronological approach, it was important to consider other considerations, and she was looking at the possibility of fixing geography. Well, I think that you can probably get somewhere towards fixing geography. But when we say Mecca, bear in mind this is a buzzword. It doesn't necessarily mean Mecca, it means influenced by Mecca. And it seems that Yemen, for example, is influenced by Mecca. In this manuscript somewhere, I forget where, there is Ala, spelled Ain Lam Alif. We find Ain Lam Alif in the palimpsest that was sold in volumes in whatever it was, 2000, which I think probably came from Yemen for other reasons. And we find it in a much more recent Yemeni fragment, as mentioned in one of the articles by Yasin Duntton. So we may even have a Yemeni spelling, for example. So there's lots of work. That's basically the story so far, and I hope to do a lot more using this sort of method. That's just 3 folios. If one can expand that out to more extensive manuscripts where you have more statistical evidence, it can be a much stronger argument. Thank you.